Hey all, I hope you're doing really good today, and I just want to quickly say, if you think this video will be about the Solus Wing and don't want any more information past that, please pause the video and go check out the link in my description. That's what you'll be looking for. Alright, for the real Alloy Collective final boss, you'll need to pick up the Encrypted Cerebellum. You can only get this after defeating the Solus Wing, and again, if you don't know how to do this part, I'll just have a video linked down in the description for it. I also highly recommend grabbing these Matrix keys because 50% increased armor is always welcome, and sometimes this can also just be your best options for what we're gonna need. If you don't know where these are, go run down the hallway to the left of the Solus Wing from where you pick up the Cerebellum. Again, that's the left while you're facing the Solus Wing. And then whenever you're done exploring or grabbing what you want from the rest of Solutional Haunt, take the portal on the Solus Wing to get to the computational exchange. We're going to want to use the first rail system on our left. This will bring us to Chef, who is willing to mix our items together for us. Side note, this system is really broken and can make you really heckin' strong, but it's also just really cool, so I don't care. After you mix around whatever items you want for your build, we're going to use the Cerebellum we got from the Solus Wing and preferably mix it with a Rusty Key or an extra Sentry Key. The values on the Sentry Key and Prison Matrix don't stack, so just keeping one of each is fine. Another side note is that these also work with Encrusted Keys and Empathy Cores, but those don't really seem worth it to use in my opinion. I've also seen people say that every new boss item works, and that's false. The Functional Coupler from the Solus Amalgamator and the Faulty Conductor from the Alloy Hunter do not work for this. There might be another one or two random combinations that do work, but I highly recommend just grabbing an extra Sentry. Whenever you're done hanging out with your boy Chef and exploring the rest of the stage, we're going to go offer the new Cerebellum to Specs. Specs will then open a new portal to the final boss. And then when you're here, take the rail up to the big stage in the sky and we're ready to fight the final boss. The boss fight will trigger whenever the orb is attacked, but be careful and pause if you need to walk away for a second because at least some, if not all of the drones will attack on sight. Now it's time for the boss mechanics. First up, he has these red orbs. These are fast flying projectiles and they will come at you, but you can destroy them. Or honestly, just strafing works, and these shouldn't really be a problem at all because you just walk left or right and they will miss. The blue orbs are a problem, and they do need to be shot and destroyed. These are slower moving than the red variants, but they will home in on you eventually regardless of how you move. And if you're caught lacking, they really hurt. These genuinely can be run ending if you don't pay attention to them. The Solus Heart will also lift up his hand to the heavens. This is signifying that he's creating a giant white pillar to come destroy the stage, and the survivor if they walk into it. It doesn't really kill you, it just hurts pretty bad. There's a few different variants of these, but from what I've noticed, there's either one or more pillars. The biggest thing with these is to pay attention for purple lighting on the stage, because that'll tell you where these are going to spawn so you can be ready to react. Also, flying really does help for these phases since so much of the stage gets destroyed later on. So Operator and Artificer are a lot less vulnerable to the stage destruction because of that. If you're playing a non-mobile character like Engi or Captain, you don't need this, but taking the Milky Chrysalis just as a way to fly if you see it is really helpful as well. The last mechanic that we need to talk about are these white bombs that also destroy the stage. Don't stand on the same square that these are on because when they explode, you'll take damage. I definitely recommend breaking at least one or two of these though, because usually after he summons some, he's going to do the pillars next. And it is very possible that you can run out of places to stand on. The very last thing to talk about is his phase change mechanic. He does this after he loses about 1/3 of his health and in his final 1/3 of health. This part doesn't really add any new mechanics other than the slam, which is kind of dumb because you need to be fully off the stage or you're just going to take some damage anyway. But it does put 3 of them together all at the same time. He's going to throw the white bombs in the middle of the stage that you can just ignore. And he's going to summon pillars. These pillars will destroy the entire stage, so it's important to know where they'll start. I added a frame hold here so we can see how they're going to form from my perspective. Just from seeing this, we already know that our side of the stage is going to be destroyed from front to back. The other side is going to be destroyed from back to front. So we're just going to follow this all the way to the end. And when the pillars have almost destroyed the entire stage, the other side will start forming again. But I said there was 3 mechanics, and that's only 2. He is also going to summon blue orbs at the same time to come kill you. My biggest tip for this is to try to always move in a way that's going to bring you farther from the boss so you have more time to react to this. And that's pretty much it for this boss. The mechanics are pretty simple, they just happen quickly, so it's a bit more of a learning game than the Solus Wing, at least in my opinion. As far as the different phases after the 2 slams, the fight does get a bit more hectic, but all the mechanics are dealt with in the same ways, so I didn't feel the need to add much more about that. I do highly recommend grabbing AoE like Gas, Will-O-Wisp, or Tesla, and vertical mobility, like Kupu Feathers, Head Stompers can be made with Chef, or the Milky Chrysalis. If you can get these in your runs, the AoE really helps with taking out the orbs and not allowing some of the stage destruction, and staying in the air as long as possible can help if you made a mistake in your pathing and have nowhere left to stand. Also, unlike the Solus Wing, the Solus Heart kind of suffers from not having a lot of health, so if you are able to just push the DPS a little bit, you can skip a lot of phases. I'm just going to have an Engi run and an Acrid run both attached, just in case you want to watch. If not, that's cool too. Neither run is completely perfect, but it's a new boss, I'm still learning too. I hope this helps, and I hope to see you all next time. Peace.